Okay, everyone, we are now discussing the result of this motion, motion number 55, which states that this, the 25th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly, elects the following candidate as the Regional Media and Publications Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2023 to 24. If you can have the results up. We just have a bit of technical issues. The results are out. We have 5 votes for Novena, 6 for reopen. So in this case, we will be reopening the position and we will be having a second call for nominations at a later date. We have a clarification from FGCPHA for this.
Mr. Chair, Moses Carla, GCPG Philippines, in case we will be reopening the position, can Novena still apply for the position? Thank you.
Yes, the candidate can still reapply for the position during the second call for nomination. Thank you. So as mentioned, for this case, since the candidate did not get simple majority, we will be reopening the call for nominations for the RMPO. And this will be announced at a later date. So this motion is going to be reopened. And I believe since we had quite a long discussion, are there any proposers and seconders for a 10-minute recess? 15-minute recess. We have proposed by PSAT Talent, seconded by NTAP. We are now voting on this procedural motion. Do we have anyone against? I see none. Do we have any proposers and seconders to suspend the standing orders? Proposed by Escopar Santinita, seconded by NTAP. We are now voting on this motion. If anyone is against, please raise your voting cards. I see none. We are now suspending the standing orders. We are having a 15-minute break, so please come back by 10:30 a.m. We will just have a quick roll call by IPSF Secretary.
Thank you, Chair, for the call. This is Amy Adams, APRO Secretary. So as usual, please raise your ballot cards if you the motion cards or with your hand at Wilson. Max India, thank you. Makati Indonesia, thank you. APS Japan, thank you. And that's over New Zealand, thank you. HJCPHA Philippines, thank you. ANX Republic of Korea, thank you. MSP Singapore, thank you. PSAT Thailand, thank you. Cyprus and India, thank you. PMFQI Indonesia, thank you. PMFQ Indonesia, thank you. PMFQ Indonesia, thank you. PMFQ UGM Indonesia, thank you. PMFQ Indonesia, thank you. HMFQ ICT Indonesia, thank you. UFA Philippines, thank you. And PSA Taiwan, thank you.
So we will be having the 15-minute break, and please come back to this room by 10:30 a.m. Thank you. Can you pause live stream? No, can pause live stream. If you want to display them, right? Just. And for everyone's information, we will be displaying the IPSF APRO merchandise outside. So you guys can check it out if you want to buy it. Thank you.
Hi everyone, we'd just like to show the IPSF APRO merch. So I will be going outside to show the merch that we will be selling. So I won't be selling them right now, but we will be sending the order form to the APS group chat for later, and then yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah. I think.
But yeah, like do it like this.
Oh, I see.
Oh yeah, sorry. Should I just fill it like for each one?
No, I think you can. Oh, then I think it's not necessary to put.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm touching it. I keep on forgetting.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like. And then maybe it's for this part as well.
Yeah.
This is healthcare system, public health care.
But how
Care system, yeah.
I'll just start that to
As the leadership. Funding.
the interprofessional as a key mover. Professional. Not too
Yeah.
Right.
And then.
This is where I was trying to get changes to. This is, I was just trying to.
If this is a bit.
Yeah, I might just keep it, because I'm trying to put it under policy making as well. Systemic change to. Systemic change. And expand.
And then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, regulations to expand. Trade institutions, to expand the policy. I don't know, I don't know if we should say. Should we do that? Okay. Right. Okay.
I think they.
Extended.
Yeah, okay. I'll send you the- Oh, you're back.
Oh, I'm just doing like enhance the knowledge of the future. Oh, wait.
I'm not interested. Yeah. It's not what they're.
Stress it. Responsibility.
Yeah.
I think it's lead.
Yeah, my back. Okay, let's go to the next. Well, then I kind of, this is like, kind of what's given, about collaboration. Like public, implement awareness campaigns.
Me too. I actually fell asleep and then I was like, shit, Amy's gonna kill me. I have to wake up.
Yeah.
I was actually like, I had my alarm. And I slept for a long
I said,
time.
look, it's like, do you know what? I'm surprised to see one of these on something like, oh, yeah. Thinking about last night. 5 AM, no, 5 AM, but I was so tired and I was really.
I'm like waking up at 3, then 4, and hi guys. Did you guys have snacks? Get snacks.
Actually, I don't like sweets.
Oh, you don't like sweet? I really like sweet. Can you give me your sweet snack? No. I like the sweet snacks.
I give you some Japanese cookies.
Oh wow.
I have
Thank you. Thank you. That sounds really nice.
All right.
Like, okay, this is another issue. I'm gonna put it as one of the issues.
No, I think it was with you.
And then like you're gonna say policy.
Yes. Or you can like say, not feature content because.
Oh, yeah.
Really career.
Real thing.
No, it's actually
I know it's a good if I'm here.
At Pharmacy Street and early career house, we show we send for we say we believe.
Oh.
Unicorn, I would say, with a rainbow on the back.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, please don't listen to what we just said. We forgot to mute our live stream. floor to IPSF APRO Secretary Amy for the roll call. Again, you will be provided with your voting cards after.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. And scrutineers can please come up the front and I'll hand out the voting cards, please. Thank you. Thank you. As per usual, I'll be calling out the association names, so please raise your hand or motion card if you have it correct.
Wait, don't give out it, don't give out it. Guys, Chinlen, please give out once they are. Thank you. Once they are called.
Max India, thank you. Ismafasi Indonesia, thank you. APS Japan, thank you. IPSF New Zealand, thank you. HNCPPHA Philippines, thank you. Republic of Korea, thank you. University of Singapore, thank you. IPSF Thailand, thank you. IPSF India, thank you. MFF Dubai Indonesia, thank you. MFF Indonesia, thank you. Indonesia, thank you. GM Indonesia, thank you. USD Indonesia, thank you. HNF APRTC Indonesia, thank you. IPSF Philippines, thank you. And PSA Taiwan, thank you. So we have 84 members present and voting. The strength of the House is 12 votes. Therefore, 7 required for simple majority and 9 required for 2/3 majority. I now pass the floor back to the.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a proposer and secondary to resume standing orders? Proposed by IPSF New Zealand, seconded by its own president. Okay, we are now continuing to the next motion, motion number 56, which states that this 25th IPSF Asian Regional Assembly mandates the IPSF APRO Regional Working Group to release the second call for nominations for the Regional Relations Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2023 to 24 and postpone the election of this office to a later date. This motion shall not be reviewed on after it has been achieved, once it has been achieved. We are now opening the floor for discussion. Do we have any new comments? Can I confirm that there are no new comments before we close the floor for discussion? I see that there are none. We are now closing the floor for discussion. We are now voting on this motion, motion number 56, which states that the 25th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly mandates the IPSF APRO Regional Working Group to release the second call for nominations for the Regional Relations Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2023 to 24 and postpone the election of this office to a later date. This motion shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. All those against this motion, please raise your voting card. I see none. All those abstaining from this motion, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those voting for, please raise your voting cards. Sorry, please keep the voting cards raised. Okay, if you can keep the voting cards raised, thank you. I see Paul, you may have it. Results are out. We have 12 votes for, 0 against, and 0 abstaining. This motion is carried unanimously. We are now moving on to the next motion, motion number 57, which states that the 25th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly mandates the IPSF APRO Regional Working Group to release the second call for nominations for the Regional Province Officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2024 and postpone the election of this office to a later date. This motion will not be reviewed once it has been achieved. We are now opening the floor for discussion. We have a new comment from Fanny. It's on my speech.
Regarding this motion, I strongly believe that there was a nominated for form submitted by Project Nepal for the prosecution of our field. Can I know the time?
Thank you so much for submission, and I'm going to look forward to Ms. Amy Cameron, and be the secretary for the one.
Thank you, Chair, for the call. Secretary, thank you very much for your question. Regarding the predictions, we did receive his. However, upon further looking into his nomination form, we actually realized he was not eligible for first round elections due to the eligibility criteria stated in the official documents. So we have informed him about this and told him that he is allowed able to apply for second round nomination from the system.
Thank you, Secretary Amy. Do we have any other comments? A few more seconds for the open discussion. I see that there are no new comments. We are now closing the floor for discussion. We are now voting on this motion number 7, which states that this, the benefit IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly, mandates the IPSF APRO Regional Working Group to reach the set of offer nomination for the regional province officer of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2023 to 2024, and postpone the election of this office to a later date. This motion shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. All those voting against, please raise their voting cards. I see none. All those abstaining, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those voting for, please raise your voting cards. I see 12. We have 12 votes for, 0 against, and 0 abstaining. This motion is carried unanimously. We are now moving on to the next motion, motion number 58, which states that this, the benefit IPSF Pacific Regional Assembly co-opts Ms. Tawad Tamrong Liraha as chairperson of the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Pharmaceutical Symposium 2024 onto the regional working group of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2023 to 24. We are now opening the floor for discussion. A few more seconds for the open discussion. I see that there are no new comments. We are now closing the floor for discussion. We are now voting on this motion number 58, which is that this, the benefit IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly co-opts Ms. Chawanya Tamrong Liraha as chairperson of the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Pharmaceutical Symposium 2024 onto the regional working group of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2023 to 2024. All those voting against this motion, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those abstaining from this motion, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those voting for, please raise your voting cards. I see 12. This one around, we have 12 votes for, 0 against, 0 abstaining. So congratulations to Tang O. He is now adopted as the chairperson of the 23rd IPSF Asia Pacific Pharmaceutical Symposium 2024. Motion carried unanimously. We are now moving on to the next motion number 59, which states that this, the 25th IPSF Asia Pacific General Assembly co-opts Mr. Bill Wilson A. Balahan, immediate past chairperson of the regional working group of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office for 2023-2024. We are now opening the floor for discussion. We have a new comment from Moises at the picture.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Moses Carter, GC, Philippines. Congratulations, Gabriel, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, FGC Picture. Philippines. Do we have any new comments from the board? A few more seconds. Okay, I see none. We are now closing the floor for discussion and we are now voting on this motion. We're now voting on this motion number 59, which states that then the IPSF Pacific Regional Assembly forms Mr. Bill was enabled on immediate past service and unable work review of the IPSF Pacific Regional Office for the 2024. All those voting against, please raise their voting cards. I see none. All those abstaining, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those for, please raise your voting cards. I see 12. The results are out. We have 12 votes for, 0 against, and 0 abstain. This motion is carried unanimously. Okay, we're now moving on to the next motion number 60, which states that this, the President of IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly mandates the IPSF APRO Regional Working Group to release the second call for nominations for the bid to host the 24th Asia Pacific Pharmaceutical Symposium APPS 2025 and before the election to a later date. This motion shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. We are now opening the floor for discussion. So before we proceed to the new comments, we would just like to give a point of information. Interest was mentioned by a member association to host APPS, however, they were unable to fulfill the requirements. For this, that is why we are having this motion now instead of voting whether to have them host or reopen the position. So now we are moving on to new comments. Moises, we're going to please.
Mr. Chair, Moses Carter, GC, Philippines. I would like to ask regarding the starting budget in order to start the plans and implementation of APPS, just so other associations here would know regarding the expected budget. Thank you.
Thank you, FGC Philippines. Can I clarify?
Starting budget, how much we have to prepare in order to start APPS.
Thank you. I'll just refer to the motion. Okay, thank you, FCC Philippines for your question. I would just like to refer to our official documents regarding the budget. So there is no set regulations when it comes to the budget, but I would like to mention specific articles within official documents regarding finances of IPSF. Firstly, I would like to refer to Article 14.4.1, which states that the finances of events are totally independent of the federation's budget and handled by the member organization. The member organization is fully responsible for the finances of the event. The executive committee shall supervise the population of the fees and budget to ensure that no profit or financial loss is made from the event. In addition to this, I think relevant to the discussion, when it comes to event registration fees, it is just mentioned that under 14.4.6.b, event registration fees shall not exceed 55 euros per night for the first registration period. Hopefully that adds to the discussion for the budget. And we have a new comment from Minjer. Okay, answer problem. Great.
Thank you for the call. We have I want to ask when the release for the holidays for this thing will happen and the effect deadline for the submission of it.
Thank you, Kenneth Republic of Korea. So the release of the second call will be after the regional assembly. So after today, hopefully next week, and we will be having at least 2 weeks for interest for associations to give interest to enter their reading materials for the second call. We have a clarification from FAC Philippines.
So let me clarify, if it's possible that it's according to the document, it's possible and to have the elections of the remaining officers and then for APPSPP, can it be like on the other day? Like other than the election, like another day for election, another day for PP. Thank you.
Thank you, FAC Philippines. It's not gonna go as well.
It's not official.
There are no regulations when it comes to that, but we will highly take that into consideration and we are planning out the timeline for second nomination. No. We have a direct comment from India, Kenneth Republic of Korea. Sorry, it was a technical. Thank you. Are there any direct comments from your side? We have any comments from Kenneth Republic?
Cleanups, I wanted to ask how, as for the 2024 yes, I heard there was a resignation from the bidding chairperson to a new chairperson. Can I go more details about how the handover has happened? Like the process of it and when it happened and if there's a period to when it should happen.
Thank you, Kenneth Republic of Korea, for the question. So for the initial year of bidding, once they are accepted during the first year, the chairperson of APPF is actually decided internally. It is only during the second year RA when we have the motion of nominating the chairperson, where we actually have a set chairperson. So when it was mentioned that the chairperson of APPS 2024 resigned, it was actually an internal decision and it did not involve IPSF. But however, I would also like to mention IPSF APRO was informed of the decision to resign before it happened. Thank you. Do you have any new comments from the assembly? Okay, I see that there are no new comments. We are now proceeding to voting on this motion, motion number 60, which states that this IPSF Asia Pacific Assembly mandates the IPSF April regional to release the second call for nominations for the bid to host the 24th Asia Pacific Functional Symposium, APPS 2025, and postpone the election to a later date. This motion shall not be reviewed once it has been achieved. All those voting against this motion, please raise your voting card. I see none. All those abstaining from this motion, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those voting for, please raise your voting cards. I see both. Thank you. Results are out. We have 12 votes for, 0 against, and 0 abstained. This motion is carried unanimously. We are now moving on to the next motion, motion number 61, which states that if the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Resolution for the Regional Policy Session on strengthening the role of pharmacists in public health. So this regional resolution has been placed in the Google Drive, and we will be showing it on the screen for everyone to. As a point of information, this is a compilation of the major themes of each country policy statement that was compiled into. Sorry, that's the. So this is a technical regional resolution paper now on strengthening the role of pharmacists in public health. We will give a few minutes for the assembly to read the resolution. Okay, we are now opening the floor for discussion. Are there any new comments for this motion? Are there any new comments, please use speaker form or raise your physical finger. A few more seconds for your comments. Okay, we have a new comment from Yagya Matsundi.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Lekha Malik, Maps India. My question is regarding the point of reinforce pharmacist role in administering vaccines. I would like to point out that in certain countries, especially in my countries, pharmacists are not allowed to administer vaccines. So how can we implement this? Regarding this document, how can we implement? Thank you.
Thank you, Maps India. So as mentioned, this encompasses the statements within IPSF APRO. So it was one of the major teams identified that is why it is included in this regional resolution for. And we also want to give a point of information. This is, I believe, in terms of calling to action government as well, to include vaccination as one of the scope of practice of pharmacy. Thank you. Do we have any new comments? I see that there are none. We are now closing the floor for this question. We are now voting on this motion number 61, which states that this is the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Resolution for the regional policy session, strengthening the role of pharmacists in public health. All those against, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those abstaining, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those voting for, please raise your voting cards. I see 12. Thank you. Results are out. We have 12 votes for, 0 against, and 0 abstain. This motion is carried unanimously. Okay, we are now moving on to the next motion number 62, which states that if the 20th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Resolution for the global policy session and advancing equity in rare disease healthcare. We will now be showing again the regional resolution for the global policy session through the projected event. They can see that. Yeah, I think I remember this point. Okay, we are now opening the floor for discussion. For any comments, please use the speaker form or use the physical. A few more seconds for discussion. I see that there are no new comments. We are now closing the floor for discussion. We're now voting on this motion number 52, which states that this, the 25th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Resolution for the Global Policy Session on advancing equity in rare disease healthcare. All those against this motion, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those abstaining, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those voting for, please raise your voting cards. I see 12, thank you. Results are out. We have 12 votes for, 0 against, and 0 abstain. This motion is carried unanimously. We're now moving on to the next motion number 63, which states that this, the 25th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly, accepts and adopts the following policy writings as official statements of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office. I will be now giving the floor to IPSF APRO Secretary to explain about this motion.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Mary, the Secretary. So I'm just giving a bit of information about the policy statement that you can see in the draft. There are two here, each of with the draft by one of my subcommittee members from this mandate. And so, one second. So the first policy writing we have there is transforming roles of pharmacists and the potential public health. The second policy writing is neglected tropical diseases. These were drafted by the Secretary Subcommittee and then reviewed by myself. And the share posts before they were published onto the IPSF APRO social media platforms and also shared before minutes.
Thank you. We are now opening the floor for discussion. If there are any new comments, please use the speaker form or raise your finger. A few more seconds for the open discussion. I see that there are no new comments. We are now closing the floor for discussion. We are now voting on this motion number 63, which states that this, the 25th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly, accepts and adopts the following policy writings as official statements of the IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Office. All those voting against, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those abstaining, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those voting for, please raise your voting cards. I see 12. Thank you. Results are out. We have 12 votes for, 0 against, and 0 abstain. This motion is carried unanimously. We are now moving on to the next motion number 64, which states that this, the 25th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly, accepts and adopts the annual report of the IPSF APRO Regional Focus Project 2021 to 22. We will now be showing the annual report in the projector in front of you. You may find this under the number 5 reports folder and number 6 APRO Regional Focus Project report. And again, we are voting on the annual report of the APRO Focus Project 2021 to 2022. Again, as a point of information, this report was completed by the previous regional projects officer, Ms. that the previous regional assembly, there were deliverables to be met by the project. That is why we are having a project process. Okay, we are now opening the floor for discussion. Are there any new comments from the assembly? Few more seconds for any new comments from the assembly. I see that there are no new comments. We are now closing the floor for discussion. And we are voting on this motion, motion number 64, which states that this, the 25th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly, accepts and adopts the annual report of the IPSF APRO Regional Focus Project 2021 to 22. All those against, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those abstaining, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those voting for, please raise your voting cards. I see 12. Thank you. Result of 12 votes for, 0 against, and 0 abstained. This motion is carried unanimously. Okay, we are now moving on to the next motion, motion number 65, which says this, the 25th IPSF Asia Pacific Regional Assembly accepts and adopts the update report of the IPSF APRO Regional Focus Project 2022 to 23. So we will now be giving the floor to Ms. Machi to report about the
I forgot.
Thank you for the floor, Mr. Chairperson. Hi, all. My name is Manshri Simon. I'm the regional program officer for this management 2022 to 2023. Let's have this less stressful moment to review what this is going to be like. I would like to give you a background about APRO project. So with this project coming, I want to give you the more background of how our team truly this and how it is related to health and rural outcome. First of all, the APRO for this project usually was held on site at IPSF in the previous of the 19th we have moved it online. And therefore, when it comes back to this year, I was in a hesitant between hosting it online. We were and because of the APPS circumstances, whether we could host not and all of the stuff and that we have to focus on certain projects that APPS has to host. Therefore, we decided to move it to after APPS. Team has more time to focus on what should be happening. And therefore, the coming back to the deliverables, we would like to focus on 3 things. Regional projects officer, regional project, portfolios, mainly focusing on three portfolios, if you, all notice. It's education, public health, the stage of what we are planning to do for the rest 3 months, focusing on the April focus projects. Next. Okay, so the project timelines. Oh, sorry. There you can see in the Google Drive, I have added all the projects concept. For privacy education, it's going to be done internally as I mentioned at the beginning. And give a talk, because we know that a lot of pharmacy graduates do not go directly to become pharmacists. We have so much more, and I would like this to be a part where each country can showcase one or two persons that we can feature in the webinar, and also there where we can secure some job position that we can offer to our young graduates to at least get to see the opportunity in their area. So maybe certain people don't want to move away. We bring the jobs back to our region and hope this will allow the juniors to say that passing on opportunities to your juniors is also manageable and possible. And the last project I would like to mention is the APRO Earth Focus. Here, we're back. The team is called We Not Tobacco. And as you all know, in Asia Pacific region, we grow a lot of tobaccos. But in contrast, a lot of these farmers has a very low life standard, and we would like to improve that, because if we change from tobacco to other agricultural products or something that the farmers could do in terms of collaborating projects from no tobacco from pharmacy setting to World Environmental Day, it could be a possibility that we create some new initiatives and also start understanding that pharmacists could be part of the World Environmental Day too. So in this project, if you move forward to the next page, I would like to say that I have been in contact with a project called Climate Fresh. Started in France. They have an educational course for everyone. And this course is very long. I would like to say that I joined 6 hours course to become a facilitator so that I could provide you all with the course. This is going to be an option for you if you would like to be to join the workshop. It will give you the start of the how does climate change happen and all the way to the end to resolve this. And I would like to facilitate you, all of you, to be able to facilitate this course in your own country. But by the way, because it's the hour session, and it's no less, no more, because there's of course construction that we need to do it so that all the participants get to showcase their knowledge and also understanding about climate change. Therefore, this will be optional. But what I would like to propose is that we are going to have a climate hackathon. And it's in the process of discussing who is going to be our partner. The climate hackathon is the part where release projects to your own country so that you could initiate some environmental project that is related to or not to the World Tobacco Day. And that the member organization will report back to us what is the initiative in terms of climate action this year that this mandate could do. Again, if it's not possible within the 3 months or in the transition of your mandates handover, this will be part on and you can report back to the next regional project officer as well. Because the APRO focus project doesn't stop in just one mandate and will continue to do so. So I appreciate your time and listening to the update. And if ever you need to collaborate or would like to be part of any project proposed, please do not hesitate to contact me. And this is a catch up. And if ever you feel like it's too tight or too little, it's not possible, you can feel free to give me a comment. Or if ever we could extend this project to a bit more so that all of you could be part of us. So you can please let me know as well. I would like to highly apologize for the delay in the Info Focus project because we are in transition of online to offline. But I promise to do my best to make it happen and to give this back to all of you and let's work with together as one. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the floor. Passing back to Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Manjri. We now open the floor for discussion. We have a new comment from Yanya, Maps India.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. This is Yagya Malik, Maps India. Thank you, Manjri, for the presentation. This is slightly not related to presentation, but I would like to propose the committee should also incorporate new forum that has been created called Global Cancer Consortium. And our college, Manipal College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, is an active member of the organization. And we are one of the founders of this consortium along with my colleague, John Hopkins University of Cancer. So this would be a better opportunity for all the pharmacists to knowledge about cancer. We have a 50-hour course on cancer biology, and we do have weekly lectures on different cancers, therapy, and epidemiology. So I would suggest all of you to join it, and I would ask the committee to add it into their project proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, Maps India. So I would just like to clarify, is this a suggestion or is this a procedural motion? As if you proposed this to be added to the regional focus project, this can actually considered as a motion, and the regional projects officer is mandated to investigate the possibility of adding this to the regional focus project, and she would have to give a report on the investigation during a set time. So I would just like to confirm if this is a suggestion or is this a proposed motion, proposed procedural motion, proposed motion only. Thank you. If we can give the mic again to the delegate from Maps and Blue.
Thank you, Chair, for the floor. Yagya Malik, Maps India. It's afternoon.
Thank you, Maps and Blue. Okay, do we have any new comments? A few more seconds for the open discussion. That there are no comments, we are now closing the floor for discussion. And we are now voting on this motion number 65, which states that this, the benefits of IPSF APRO of the Regional Assembly accept and adopts the active report of the IPSF Provisional Focus Project 2022-2023. All those voting against this motion, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those abstaining from this motion, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those voting for this motion, please raise your voting cards. I see none. Results are out. We have 12 votes for, 12 votes for, 0 against, and 0 abstains. This motion is carried unanimous. Thank you. We are now moving on to the next motion, motion number 66, which states that this, the regional assembly maintains regional working group to integrate some coordinators for the subcommittee, design subcommittee, external relations subcommittee, and then internal relations subcommittee, which shall be achieved by October 1, 2023. Once achieved, this motion shall not be. So just to give a quick overview of this motion, we actually have team leads for each of these subcommittees now. However, they are not officially in the list of positions within the IPSF team. If we all could refer as well to the previously sent team list by IPSF Secretary General. This was mainly due to some concerns with the naming and confusion with IPSF global coordinator positions. However, we discussed this with the executive committee and also the regional working group that we can call them sub-coordinators, so that in addition to them being recognized by their efforts to lead the subcommittee, they're also part of the official IPSF committees. However, a disclaimer is that they are still considered IPSF APRO subcommittee members. They are not considered coordinators. So we are now opening the floor for discussion. If there are any new comments, please raise a comment through the speaker form or through the spoken room. A few more seconds for the open discussion. We are now closing the floor for discussion. We are now voting on this motion. All those against, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those abstaining, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those for, please raise your voting cards. I see both. Okay, we have 12 votes for, 0 against, and 0 abstains. This motion is carried unanimous. Okay, we are now proceeding to the next and last motion for this regional assembly, motion number 67, which states that this, the 20th IPSF Asian Pacific Regional Assembly, suspends standing orders in process. We now open the floor. We now open the floor for discussion. Are there any new comments? I see that there are no new comments. We are now closing the floor for discussion. We are now voting on this motion, motion number 67. For those voting against, please raise your voting cards. Motion number, sorry, we're now voting on this motion, motion number 67, which states that this, the IPSF Regional Assembly suspends standing orders in process. All those voting against, please raise your voting cards. I see none. All those abstaining, please raise your voting cards. All those voting for, please raise your voting cards. I see two. We have 12 votes for, 0 against, and 0 abstained. This motion is carried unanimously. The 25th Regional Assembly of the Asia Pacific Regional Office of IPS of the International Pharmaceutical Students Federation is now adjourned and will reconvene at a later date online. And as tradition, we have the IPSF song.
From power, because it's not like.
So we have an example.
It's from the past, it's from the parent. I think it's kind of clear.
So we have an example that Amy will be giving it. Because I didn't want.
Wala pharmacy. Ano yung ibang lyric?
Then you can proceed. So we will be, as you guys heard, it will be the name of each country, followed by. So it's, for example, for us, we will be having each country, for example, to Australia, to Australia.
Yeah. To Australia, viva la pharmacy. To Australia, viva la pharmacy. Viva, viva, viva la pharmacy. And then, so we start off with IPSF and then do.
Oh, isn't that?
Yeah, so we do two, no, okay, I'll say, so we start off with. Yeah,
We'll keep the list up, sorry. But basically we'll start off by saying to IPSF, to IPSF, viva la pharmacy, to IPSF, to IPSF, viva la pharmacy. And then we go by each country. So Australia, viva la pharmacy. So Australia, viva la pharmacy. Viva la pharmacy. And then to Bangladesh, to Bangladesh. So we do that on the IPSF APRO countries, and then lastly, we'll do the, no, wait, sorry, it's not finished. Yeah, oh, now then. So, and then to conclude, we'll do to IPSF, viva la pharmacy, and then, yeah, so that's how it goes, and so we'll be the one leading it.
Is there a procedural motion for anyone else to speak? I propose Moises indeed. So please let us fix a few technicals first. We would like to have this live stream. So we are just preparing the camera.
Australia, viva la pharmacy. I think that's how you say it.
Still working?
For the.
Can you just send this to the chat?
Oh, yes,
Man-
right.
man-
Not true, I'm sending it to the
Man,
chat.
just send it through the chat.
I'm pretty sure. This is it. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
the list of countries, you can just paste it there. Yeah. Yep, so the list of.
Oh, yeah. Right. You just over, okay. Actually,
What after the continuing to IPS? Viva la- Viva la-
Viva la, viva la, viva la. Four. Four. I cannot do it. Four. Four. Viva la, viva la, viva la, viva la, viva la farm. Or. Okay. Sorry. You.
IPSF again. April. Thank you, everyone. We'll go to the 20th of April and when you go to World Conference. Okay, everyone, so we adjourned our regional assembly. We brought the IPSF APRO back and let's take a picture. There, please take it up. Outside. Okay, everyone, we'll take a picture outside. The flag should be in one of the bags.
Live.
We can push the live sheet now.
Say hi to the live stream.
Hi guys, hi vlog, welcome to my guys.
Oh, hi, vlog.
I'm gonna take the picture. Sorry.